Hey guys, welcome to the early predictions for UFC Fight Night Grant Dawson versus Bobby Green. If you're new to this channel, please like and subscribe. If you're returning, you're going to notice it's just me this week. There's no A-Train. A-Train's father had an emergency health scare last night. He's in the hospital. So A-Train will be back next week. So you just got me this week. And here we go. I'll give you my early thoughts on this card. First fight of the night, we got Montana De La Rosa versus J.J. Aldrich. And J.J. Aldrich is the favorite, believe it or not. So I think this is an underdog spot here. I think this is going to be a boring grappler versus grappler. I think Montana De La Rosa is bigger, stronger, probably more well-rounded fighter, to be honest. I know she's coming off. I think her last fight was Tatiana Suarez, I believe, and Suarez did get that win. But Tatiana's wrestling is a whole world or a whole level above J.J. Aldrich. So I like Montana De La Rosa to win this fight. I like all the overs. Most likely a decision. But yeah, I like Montana as the underdog spot for sure. Next fight of the night, we got Nate Maness versus Matthias Mendonca. Matthias, extremely dangerous, extremely fun fighter, and Nate will oblige in a firefight. I think this is actually going to be a banger, and Matthias is a 2-1 favorite here. I would probably side with him. He's just so dangerous and he hits so hard. But honestly, Nate's a good brawler himself. So this is going to be a really good fight, really fun fight. I almost want to say I'd maybe pick like a fight doesn't go the distance because I think Matthias is either going to get a knockout or maybe he's finally going to get floored himself. But I think it's a really, really fun fight. So when the props drop, that's going to be something I'm going to be looking at, some kind of under there, some way to play to get plus money there. Next fight of the night, we got Kanako Murata versus Maness Demopoulos. Kanako, very, very seasoned wrestler, very good grappler. And unfortunately for Vanessa, that's kind of her kryptonite. So stylistically, this should be a Kanako win. Rinse, repeat, takedown. Vanessa, very, very tough girl. I mean, she used to be a stripper. I mean, to go from stripping to fighting, you know that this girl's tough. She's here to fight. And I like Vanessa. I think she's going to hang around probably all 3 rounds, but I think it's just rinse, repeat, takedown, beat up a little bit on the ground, get up, takedown, beat up a little bit on the ground. I like Kanako, and I like all the overs. And the odds aren't too bad here either. So I think Kanako's coming in at about minus 200. Feels safe to me. So I'll probably be playing her in a couple parlays. But yeah, I like Kanako to get it done. Next fight of the night, we got Johnny Munoz Jr. versus Iori Qileng. This is a strange fight. I don't like it at all. I don't really like either fighter. Munoz Jr., very good grappler. Not really good takedowns. Not great striking. Last fight was borderline embarrassing. I mean, it was embarrassing, but he was also fighting Daniel Santos, who's extremely dangerous. So I kind of understand that, hey, he didn't want to bang it out with Daniel Santos. He was going to get knocked out, right? He did manage to make it all 3 rounds, I believe. If I remember correctly, he did manage to hang on, but it was more from just lying down. He kept pulling guard. He was driving everybody insane. It was a very, honestly, it was a performance that could get you cut. I mean, you can't do that shit in the UFC. But like I said, he's going to get the pass because Santos is one of those dangerous strikers, dangerous pressure fighters, finisher. And I think Munoz wanted nothing to do with that. And then you got Iori Qileng, who also looked terrible last fight. So this is a tricky one. They're both coming off losses. But I think Munoz Jr. doesn't have the same shit to be scared of here. So I think I'm going to side with Munoz Jr., but honestly, they're both like underwhelming. Don't like either of them, and I wouldn't have confidence or put money on either of them per se. But I'll pick Munoz Jr. for the purpose of picking a winner. No play here for me. Next fight of the night, we got Chris Gutierrez versus Montel Jackson. Chris is coming off that loss to Pedro Munoz, where I was convinced he was going to win that fight. So I know I shouldn't even brought that up because now it makes me look like my picks are terrible or something. But he had a really bad fight that fight, and he actually got dropped by Pedro Munoz, who's not exactly known to have huge hands. I mean, yes, he knocked out Cody Garbrandt in that one fight, but historically speaking, he's kind of like a pitter patter point fighter. So that was not a good look for Chris. And against Montel Jackson, he scores knockouts, man. He hits hard as hell. But I think more than anything, he usually looks to get the takedowns and win with ground and pound. Chris's takedown defense is usually pretty good. Chris has good leg kicks. So it's going to be interesting whether Montel can get inside and get those takedowns or whether he's going to want to stand and bang it out. I don't love the odds here. Montel Jackson is coming in close to minus 200. Chris just looked so bad last fight. So bad. I'm going to pick Montel Jackson. I'm not sure if I'm going to be playing this fight. And if I did, I feel like I like the over, to be honest. I think Chris, I don't think he's going to get knocked out here. I don't think. I could absolutely see him losing a decision, but I'm not so sure he's going to get starched, or it won't be too quick, at least, I don't think. So I think I'm leaning the over 1.5 at first glance. Sorry, guys, I got a cold. Next fight of the night, we got Karolina Kowalkiewicz versus Diana Belbita. This, to me, is the most value fight on the card. Carolina, whatever you want to pronounce her name, she should not be minus 170 here. She should be minus 500. Diana Belbita is not good. I know, like, maybe like the UFC hypes her because I guess she's hot, or like the fans like her or whatever. But she is not on the same level as Kowalkiewicz. No chance. Carolina should have a field day doing whatever she wants. Like, she should be the way better striker, the way better grappler. I think she's better everywhere, and at minus 170, I'm going to hammer this line like right now. As soon as I'm done this video, I'm going to hammer her money line, and she's going to be a parlay piece for sure for me. I think she's safe as hell. I think she's like one of my most confident picks on the card for sure, and value, fantastic. So definitely Carolina all day. Yeah. Next fight of the night, we got Bill Algeo versus Alexander Hernandez. Hernandez is coming off that fight with Jim Miller, and Algeo is coming off, was the submission win, I think. Let me just check here quickly. I don't want to say the wrong thing. He is coming off an ankle lock. Okay, yes. Well, I like Bill anyways. So Alex Hernandez, here's the thing with Alex Hernandez. The guy hits hard as hell. Physical specimen, absolute beast of a man, but he fades like crazy, and dare I say he's kind of made of glass. Like he's generally kill or be killed, and if he can't kill you, he's usually going to fade in a big way. So Alex might win the first round, and if he does, I might even live bet Bill like after the first round to get some crazy odds or something like that. But I think Bill's going to get this done. I just trust him. I don't think he's going to get knocked out early or anything like that. So at some point in this fight, he's going to take over the fight, and I'm going to choose Bill to get this one done. All right, next fight of the night, we got Felipe Lins versus Jan Cutelaba. Very tough fight to predict. Cutelaba always kill or be killed. Kind of a glass chin, but he hits hard, he's got decent takedowns, and he's got decent submissions. Felipe Lins, he's so hit and miss, this guy. Like, when he's at his best, he looks pretty good. When he's at his worst, he looks terrible. And he always looks different, like, on the scale. You can almost tell at the weigh-ins what version you're going to get. Because there's sometimes he comes in and he just looks so out of shape, and he just puts on a shit performance. But he did win his last fight. He's coming off a win. Man, this is a fight that just, it says doesn't go the distance, because like I said, typical Cutelaba fight. The guy is kill or be killed. So when the props drop, I'll be looking for some kind of under, depending on the value. Like, if its fight doesn't go the distance, minus 200, that's playable. But if you can get like under 2.5 for like pick 'em odds, or under 1.5 or something like that, that's kind of where I'm going to be looking to play this fight. As far as a straight up winner, I don't really have one. I just don't trust Cutelaba, so I guess I would pick Felipe Lins, but even him, I don't really. I got to see him on the scale first. So it's almost if you're looking for a winner, it's a pass. If you're looking for a play, it's a doesn't go the distance. Next fight of the night, we got a fun fight here for sure. Everybody's favorite, Drew Dober versus Ricky Glenn. This fight should play out on the feet 100%. And Ricky Glenn, while he's not a bad fighter, I mean, these odds are crazy, first of all. Drew Dober should never be minus 450, I don't think. I mean, for as huge a chin he has, and I know people are going to say, oh, the guy's tough as hell or whatever. Yeah, but he also gets dropped quite a bit too. So at some point, like, I don't know. Like, I don't think Drew Dober has this rock. He has the big chin, but I don't know if it's rock solid. So it wouldn't shock me if he got chinned. But this fight does say that Drew Dober should be the better striker, the bigger hitter. Ricky Glenn has been hit hard and dropped before. So, I mean, this says Drew Dober knockout. But if you want to be safe, it's a fight doesn't go the distance. Because, like I said, if Drew Dober loses, it's going to be because his chin gives out and he gets cracked. It's almost like who lands first almost. But I will pick Drew Dober. I just don't love those minus 450 odds. So I'll be waiting for the props to see if I can find some kind of finish play. Next up, we got the featured fight. We got Alex Morono versus Joaquin Buckley. This is definitely a striker versus striker. Morono actually does have good grappling. He's got some sneaky chokes, but he just never seems to really use them. And I'm not even positive that he'd have success with Buckley. I mean, Buckley is a middleweight coming down. He's such a short, stocky guy that I'm not so sure that he's going to be super easy to take down, even if Morono tried to implement that grappling. So now we take away Alex's grappling, we take away his chokes, and we're going striker versus striker. And I think Buckley just hits too hard, and he's looking too good. I mean, Buckley is always going to be scary because I think he's chinny. Personally, I think he's chinny. I think he is susceptible to the knockout, but he's been getting progressively better almost every single fight. Because like a couple years ago, I would always bet against him. But now he's really coming into his own since dropping weight. Maybe those welterweights just don't have that power that he was getting knocked out with at middleweight. I don't know, but he looks really good here. He's gonna hit harder. He's gonna have the harder kicks. He's got pretty good hands. I don't know if he gets the finish, although it wouldn't shock me. I think he can. But I think just the money line's good enough anyways. I think he's sitting at about minus 170 or so. Not bad odds. Again, always going to be scared he gets knocked out, but unless he gets chinned, I think this is a Buckley win. I think he's the better striker here. Moving on, we got the co-main event. We got Joe Pyfer versus Abdul Razak Alhassan. It's funny because Abdul is not a bad fighter, and like I don't know if Joe Pyfer warrants the minus 400 favorite that he is here. I will pick Joe Pyfer. But Abdul is not bad by any means. He's actually a decent grappler. He's a hard hitter. So, I mean, when you got a guy who hits that hard, I mean, it's not impossible to think that he catches Joe. I mean, but Joe has looked so good. You got to pick Joe Pyfer here, but I just don't love the minus 400, and I'm not positive if he's worth the knockout prop to try to get to close to even money, because even Joe can kind of be low output sometimes. So, and Abdul's a big, strong guy, so I'm not so sure that he's going to want to go right at him and go for that knockout. Like, this fight might be kind of cautious because both guys hit so hard. So I will pick Joe Pyfer, but honestly, I don't think it's a fight I'm going to play. I just don't see any value here. I don't see anything worth playing right now. I'll wait for the props. If there's something that stands out, maybe I'll jump on it. But right now, my gut says that fight's a pass. And then moving on, we got the main event of the evening. We got Grant Dawson against Bobby Green. Dawson, 20 wins, 1 loss, 1 draw. Bobby Green, 30, 14, and 1. Everybody knows Bobby Green. Almost like a prime, like Nate Diaz style hands, almost kind of drops the hands, pops the jab, kind of a long volume striker, and he's decent enough wrestler, but definitely doesn't have the jiu-jitsu of like a Nate Diaz or anything like that. I mean, obviously he choked out Tony Ferguson there last fight, but he's not going to be throwing submissions out from his back. He's not going to be Charles Oliveira getting you in a triangle or an armbar or something like that. And unfortunately, that's how this fight's going to play out. Bobby Green is going to be on the bottom this whole fight. So if he's on the bottom this whole fight and he doesn't have that Charles Oliveira guard, he's fucked here. So Grant Dawson, incredibly boring. He's probably just going to rinse and repeat, takedown. Maybe he chokes out Bobby Green, maybe. But all the overs are live here. And Grant Dawson seems incredibly safe. The only way Dawson loses this fight is if he stands and obliges in a sparring match with Bobby Green or whatever. But that's not going to happen. We've already seen Grant Dawson sticks to the plan. He's not gonna steer away and show some stupid poor fight IQ. Unfortunately, he's gonna stick to the plan, be boring as hell, and rinse and repeat with the takedowns. Feels like one of the safest picks of the night. Full disclosure, I hope Bobby Green wins, man. Like, Bobby, it would be great to see you do it. To be honest, I thought you were retiring after last fight. I could have sworn he brought up retirement, so I was kind of confused when I saw this fight. Doesn't make the most sense to me. I mean, Grant Dawson is kind of like a rising prospect, and Bobby Green is more like put him in fun fights. He's an old legend or whatever, so the fight just doesn't make sense to me. But you gotta go Grant Dawson here. Oh, sorry, guys. Gotta go Grant Dawson and all the overs. So there you have it. Those are the early predictions for UFC Fight Night, Dawson versus Green. Check back Thursday. We do a bet show. Maybe A-Train will be back. I don't know. I don't really know the current status. I know he was at the hospital all last night. So maybe he's back for that. If not, he'll be back next week. But Thursday, we'll give you a bet or multiple bets for every single fight on the card. We're just waiting for those props to drop. I'll do more diligence throughout the next couple days. So if anything flips between now and then, make sure you come back for my final picks Thursday. Please like, subscribe, drop a comment. Let me know your most confident pick. Anything you disagree with. Hey, I'd love to hear what you guys have to say. And I'll see you Thursday. Have a good one.